Oh, hello.
Why is Lawrence still streaming?
When you...
Lawrence is gaming.
When...
You.
What are you two doing over there?
When you. Oh, hey.
Oh, I forgot this is where I left off, yeah.
It's this girl.
Gina
with the
Lestrade.
gun. That's it.
Cool. Alright. I am good to go.
I am goo.
Good to go.
She does
You're
still have the
goo.
fucking gun, what the hell?
Look at that fucking reload animation.
Hey, did you know that we have mocap now?
I was gonna say, exactly. Every single time.
And then it just vanishes! Rand.
She's a magician
Oh
too.
my god, it's so loud. Her outfit didn't change, right?
I don't think so.
Was she wearing the jacket before? I don't remember.
I don't either.
I thought she wasn't. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like something's different about her. Who knows what it is, though?
She's.
We can really say in this world.
Alright.
Man.
She- I know.
Sherlock without his like jacket on is so much more refreshing.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's a little silly, but I know that they do this just so that way, like, the perspective, like, makes sense between characters while they're talking. But Sherlock Sholmes is canonically like 6'2" or whatever, right? And Gina Lestrade is like 5'3", but here they're like at eye level with each other.
He's on his knees.
Yeah, that's what
Or
I'm
he's
saying.
like bending.
He's doing a
like,
power
back
slide on a
his arm.
table.
Do we have a crime yet?
No.
Oh.
No misunderstanding. Sholmes. So Sholmes was supposed to go to a pawnbroker, which is basically a fancy trade place, and he was supposed to receive back his fancy Stradivarius violin. But before the actual guy could give back to him, he just assumed that a shitty, broken up viola in the shop was his, and he was like, "Oh, this is mine. I'll take it." And then he got really depressed. And then we came back to this place to help him get his groove back, and the guy's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to give it to you, but you ran off. But also, it's my fault." And then he fucking Persona 4'd all over us.
Oh yeah, Grant, you
killed
missed out on.
himself?
Well, you missed out on it, Grant. But straight up, when we first confronted this guy saying like, "Hey, you gave us the wrong violin," he goes, "You're absolutely right," and then he fucking Zelda CDI'd his way running into the background, grabbed a revolver, ran back, and points it at his temple, being like, "I'm so sorry."
What the fuck?
This guy is nuts.
I was gonna
This
clip
guy's actually
it,
insane.
but I forgot.
He's actually mad.
Oh my god.
I like her hat keeps coming on. It's so funny.
Bounce.
Oops, let's go. Whatever.
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 All right. Are we gonna do anything?
Something happen.
Well, a lot of stuff has happened. It just feels like wacky nonsense.
Oh, you missed depressed Sholmes, Grant. He was
No, I
he
saw
was really.
depressed
Oh, you
Sholmes.
were there for that? Okay.
I was there for that, yeah.
I don't remember what
I was here for the
left, but yeah.
beginning.
Okay. I got too excited. Let's calm down.
Oh, so crap.
Your Chevy
I sure hope
faces.
nothing wacky and uncharacteristic happens.
I just imagine that, like, but in like the regular Ace Attorney thing, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like Von Karma or something like that. Like Francisca goes, "Man, I hope nothing wacky and uncharacteristic happens," and then literally everybody in the room does like a big eye roll directly towards Phoenix, and he goes, "What?" What?
Bring in the parrot.
Bring in the parrot.
Parrot.
Your Honor, parrot. Guilty.
Guilty.
Your Honor, League of Legends.
Guilty.
Do you steal things from people? Maybe. What do you want to know?
What's it to you?
I think you stole my
You
stuff.
fucking cop.
Are you? If you're a cop, you have to tell me, otherwise it's entrapment.
Yep, come.
You've been entrapped, my man. What's up? Little boy, you've been entrapped. I'm entrapping you.
Oh no.
This is
You will
all
suffer
the
legal
trap.
consequences.
I was really hoping that when I examined, he would be standing there with the gun to his head.
Oh no.
Have you seen that Sprite yet, Grant?
No.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Now I'm
And by that I mean fucking mortifying.
We'll definitely see it now that we're talking to him. We'll definitely say something that triggers him, and then he'll trigger himself.
Ooh.
I ain't too savvy, eh?
A dandy-looking fellow.
Are we? Is something gonna happen?
No. This is just a bunch of short stories now.
I'm just so confused. We've been because we've been doing this for like what, like 5 minutes? Yeah, like 7 minutes is what we've been doing so far. And then yesterday, I think we were doing this for about 40 minutes. So we're 15 minutes away from it being an hour into this case, and we don't even know what the case is.
We gotta
Like I
get
said,
Sholmes' groove back, and also his violin, I guess.
And also his analytoscope.
Right. I guess.
Now this is an Ace Attorney case. Howdy, neighbor. Cleaning up the Halloween decorations, I see. Decorations?
Hi, diddly ho, neighbor.
Hi, diddly ho, neighbor. Disc is worth good money. Just shoot him with the gas grenade and steal his money.
Oh my god. The
Wow.
perfect case.
Or just tell him that 2 things in a row are his fault.
Oh my god, no.
What the fuck is this? A little lattered demo...
Tatter.
Tattered...
Patrick Demoli?
Alright.
Tattered
I don't know
Demoli?
what that-
Million. Entry 2 of 2. 1. Ragged or disreputable in appearance. 2. Being in a state of decayed or condition. Or dilapidated.
Man,
Okay.
I love the vocab lesson that I'm getting from Ace Attorney. I think
Wow,
that's the one
the-
big takeaway.
Google was so impressed that it fucking recommended me another violent vocab words. What is a slubberdegoolian, do you think?
What the fuck? That's not a word!
Slubberdegoolian, a dirty rascal, scoundrel, or wretch.
Slubberdegoolian is the name of my next indie game.
Oh, also, what is alamort? Can you guess by your etymology?
What is it again?
Alamort. These little bears.
Alamort is the name of the warlock who uses an Allen key instead of a wand.
You're not far off.
Alright.
It's an archaic adjective, in case you didn't think it was archaic. It means exhausted or half dead.
So he's a necromancer.
Sure.
Also, what about? Hang on, I need ages to get to prepare for this one. Accidenticiast.
What?
It means a person who fakes a smile.
What the fuck? There's a reason why these words. There's a reason why these words died.
Every time I click what is a blank and then expand to see the definition, it provides me more fucking words, like a dendrophile,
Adrian's a word
phylloculist.
necromancer.
or a nyctophile.
Oh, I know
Or-
Nyctophile.
Oh yeah, Nyctophile.
Oh yeah, because night file, that makes some sense. But what about a Solivagant?
Solivagant?
Solivagant.
A
It's a verb.
solivagant is... Oh, it's a verb? Never mind.
Yeah. It means to wander, or sorry, adjective. It means to wander alone, my bad. So
Why
a
can't you just-
solivagant person wanders alone. Like a vagrant, but fucking stupid.
Oh, by the way, you guys were both definitely right. She literally just got this overcoat.
Hey.
Wow.
I called it.
Anyway, that was your, I could go on, but I think that's enough stupid vocab words for the day.
Yeah.
I love stupid vocab.
Stupid vocab was my favorite college course.
God, could you imagine? They were gonna learn fucking terrible words. Not even like bad words, but just dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a little ragamuffin. She went rifling through the pockets. Don't you know it's rude to stare at a lady?
God,
You
know
fucking
what?
pedophile.
Did you know? Did you know?
Get the fuck away from me.
Dog.
Dog.
Dog. Oh. You respond.
Why would she not just leave at this point? There's like 3 people interrogating her very severely about her intentions, and she's just like, I'm not leaving.
I want waffle fries.
I want waffle.
Womful.
Me old man. It's me old man, isn't it?
It's
Oh
all
my god. Dog. Dog is upset.
Scream.
The dog wants waffle fries,
Oh,
but it
yes.
keeps getting denied the waffle fries.
No.
Out of my way, please. What the fuck is that?
Isn't that just the guy from JoJo?
It's
Speedwagon?
Zappelli!
Oh my god.
Lad.
Holy shit.
Even the dog is enamored.
Just look at him.
Good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh la la, such and so forth.
Holy shit.
Hey, at least we discovered the villain of the case.
No.
No,
He's
he's a
so
hero.
cool. He's too cool to be a villain.
He's
The
got
murder
too
the
much
murder
drip.
victim the murder victim's gonna be fucking Windy Court or whatever, and then this guy is gonna be the villain, but he's gonna have money, and it's gonna be a repeat of the fucking red, what was his name? Ace Attorney 1 Red
Oh,
White.
Media,
tell me.
yes.
Everyone's gonna think it was a suicide, so no one will actually think it was a murder. Be like, that man is always pointing his fucking gun to his head, so who could really blame? Like, who could tell? Like, he was destined to go off at any moment. And then the guy's like, it's a perfect night. I'm gonna kill him, and no one will blame me.
No.
Who are
One
you?
person
How do
would
you know
blame
who
me.
I am? He literally just called you a pickpocket. You could have defended yourself a little bit more.
No.
How do you not know who I am? She pickpocketed him, and now he's gonna beat her within an inch of her life.
No. Oh, I thought he was pulling out the gun. I was like, uh-oh. Sir? Sir?
Sir.
Sir?
Sir.
Sure, please. Oh man, good.
Give me back my overcoat right now. You wastrel.
Oh.
Wastrel?
What?
Are we sure this wasn't,
All right.
like
No, that's an act.
Yeah.
No, that's a no. Straight up, that's actually a Zappelli pose.
Yeah, he does that.
Fucking Jojo
let's go.
Zappelli
Baron
pose.
Zappelli.
Yeah, Baron Zappelli. It's really close. Like literally, just take the arms and change them slightly, and he does this.
Oh my.
I mean, yeah.
Here he is for posterity. Like that's
Oh
like
yeah.
that's so close.
This is
You just gotta
accurate.
change what the hands are doing, and it's good.
That's so funny.
I
That's the
cannot
second
believe
character
it.
in a row that's the second character in as many cases that's just been a JoJo reference, I think. Who in their
Yeah.
right mind? Who in their right mind just does poses?
me.
I mean, Shutakumi. I guess just watch JoJo between Ace Attorney 4 and this
He
game.
was like, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
why
you
are we
think you're
here?
right?
This has nothing to do with us.
What about the alternative where Rocky's like, "Dear Shutakumi, I like the Ace Attorney games. Please put JoJo poses in them," and then she's like, "Okay, I guess so."
He asked politely.
Dear God, please smite my enemies forever and make them go to hell no matter what. Love me. I love that voice clip of SpongeBob saying that.
I
Dear
have not
God.
heard that.
There's one of, I think it's actually SpongeBob's voice after going, "Dear God, please smite my enemies."
That's amazing.
When this little gutterling ran into me. I've been robbed
Though
yet again.
Lawrence, he is sprouting
Oh no.
no eye reflecting, thing, motif.
What do you mean? You mean he's evil if he has no shine in his eyes? I don't know what you
Oh,
mean.
by the way, I was wrong. It's 15 AI, but it's still pretty good.
Damn.
Right, 15.
Push my overcoat.
Holy shit.
Dear
Posing
Jesus.
at you.
Please smite my enemies.
Hold on. Reasonable. Think it's me.
Look at this dandy cove. You
Who's
think
he
I'm
on,
the
the
dodgy
dodgy
one?
one?
He's like prim and proper,
Dodgy
and
one?
look at you! I'm surprised there's not charcoal all over your face.
What, from sweeping chimneys?
No, from being a scamp in Victorian England.
What was the fucking word again? The ridiculous one that was like a scamp or rascal or whatever? Hang on.
The Winderscoot or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Your scoot.
Winderscoot's my
The fucking
favorite middle
ShamWow,
evolution.
What was it?
What if this
Sleevine, that
must
was
turn into a civil case where it's her against the guy?
Are
who's
we
like,
about to
"This
say?
is
Are
my
we gonna?
coat."
Are we gonna defend her against him?
Oh, you're probably right.
Wow, if Saba calls it and this is just a fucking civil case in an Ace
I don't
Attorney
think so,
game,
dude.
I
I don't
would
think
be,
so, Vega.
I would
It'd
be
be,
so
it'd,
hyped.
be, it'd be groundbreaking. Pioneer case, if you will. And it's a final case, too!
Yeah, how weird.
They literally de-escalated for the final case. That's incredible.
That would be awesome.
That's some king shit.
What the hell is a sleevine? I was trying to find the word from earlier that was synonym for scoundrel or whatever. I can't find it anymore because how would I? And apparently a new one I found is sleevine. It means a dishonorable and morally reprehensible person, so scoundrel.
Okay.
May I trouble you for the watchword associated with the article in question?
He's gonna say the word and he's gonna get triggered and he's gonna turn to Agent 47.
He's gonna turn into Agent 47.
Yeah.
Watchword professor?
Wouldn't that be really funny if this guy was Arsene?
God.
Arsène de Lupin. That'd be so good.
Please.
Oh no, it'd be way better if he was Moriarty.
Oh, that's true.
Ultimate daddy.
This is so weird. What's
What a
happening?
strange final case.
cut to Sherlock.
Yeah, it was. It was a glance at Sherlock. Herlock, I mean. Gotta be accurate.
Yeah, come on, Sava.
I know, I'm disappointed in
Sherlock
myself.
Holmes.
Of course, then I give the storage ticket to the customer. So you have to know the watchword and have the ticket in order to access the item that you pawned off. That's literally better security than TikTok uses.
I mean, yeah.
That's literally two-factor authentication.
It's not a huge step.
It's not. You're not saying much.
I'm being more secure than TikTok.
That's my point.
Oh.
Thank you for catching on. I appreciate it.
No, I'm still off. Listen, we need to talk about this.
Damn it.
Before I get to your point, let's have a talk about parallel universes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about paradoxical parallel universes.
Let's talk about Paradox Pals and why you were a good fit for us.
It's a hiring process.
We're trying to hire.
This is your employee training view. There's 30 minutes of us talking about Ace 30 and then the actual training video starts.
It's pretty good.
The 30 minutes to test your patience. If you say this is bullshit, it doesn't make sense, or it's not worth it, then we fire you immediately.
You're gone.
Out of a
You're
cannon.
there.
Yeah, sure. We fire you out of the time cannon. It's like a normal cannon, which we tied a clock to it.
Tie a clock to it.
We duct tape a clock to it. We also glue it off for extra safety.
I've heard. What the?
Ooh.
Yes!
Dance!
He did it, lads! He did it!
It's definitely one of the. No, most of them have been weird. I don't get what's happening with this dude.
No clue.
And what was that theatrical gesticulation about?
What about his gesticulation?
I'm glad it was acknowledged that he was being weird, but not the guy before.
No, that was completely normal.
That was completely normal because they come from Japan, right? So
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
guess.
Egbert.
Eggert Benedict? Yeah? That's
That's
definitely
I
not
already
that's
know
definitely
that
not fake.
Benedict Cumberbatch would be related to, I don't know, it's insane to me.
I wonder what his name pun is.
What, Eggs Benedict?
No,
No.
Benedict Egbert. What do you
Yeah.
think
They
it is?
wouldn't. They wouldn't. They wouldn't make a
They would
reference to a
never.
breakfast food.
Look at
That'd be
this guy!
stupid.
Adrian's thing of them being like, look, we have mocap now.
This is the gif that I saw. The first thing I saw of this game was that guy doing that exact gesture, and I was like, holy shit.
Could you imagine
Really
trying to
mocap.
having to hand do that?
Damn,
Yeah,
the
that fits
game
him a
got
lot better than
mocap.
you.
See, I want to say Egbert, but he says Eggert. His name is Eggert. It feels wrong.
He's
Oh
wrong.
my God.
Just entirely.
This fucking guy. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't like. He's kind of like posh annoying or whatever. But the fact that he does all these poses does like immediately bump up several phases in like my character tier list.
It's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
What if he steps out of this, like, door and dies?
he gets shot immediately. That'd be a big waste. That'd be the biggest waste in the fucking Ace Attorney series, I think.
Because we'd be like, no, we just want more of this dancing guy's
What if
character.
it gets saved?
Exactly.
Did she steal the other disc? Very well. She just takes out his cane, bops her on the head.
I was gonna say he just like starts breathing funny. It's like, what's that? Come on.
He goes to punch a frog, but then it crushes the rock instead of the frog.
And the frog is safe.
Disc is mine. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
sweet disc.
She turned invisible.
Is this assault?
You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
Civil case assault?
Oh my god.
Now kill him.
Now die.
I found it first, alright. I mean, it belonged to me, old man. Oh god, we're gonna have to defend this idiot. Oh, come on.
Do we have to?
Like, but it's Ace Attorney, so you know that she's right. You know?
But do we have to?
But Zach, we're gonna find out all about its significance to her and her family, and the
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that this is
sentiments.
like he's going to be like an owner of a bank that foreclosed on her dad's house or whatever, and this is gonna be like the childhood music box that her mom used to play before she died of consumption or whatever.
consumption. She died of capitalism, much like most people do.
No, consumption's the
like
name
that.
of it's the old-timey name for I don't remember the disease. It's really common.
Wasting
Plague.
disease.
Wasting disease is a different disease. Consumption.
Tuberculosis?
I think it might be
Gamer
tuberculosis.
disease.
I looked it up, that's what it said.
Oh, it's a consumption, a wasting disease. Especially
Well, thank you.
pulmonary
That'll do it.
tuberculosis. So yeah. So there you
The
go.
power of being able to Google things with moderate speed.
Hey man, I had to do it on my phone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't have to tab out of a video game to do it.
What are you talking
Why is he leaning like that? Why is he doing a little Michael Jackson lean? He's about to have like oh my god, look at her, she's so sassy standing.
Sassy.
We had to do something about this before he reaches for the revolver. All right, Miss Lestrade, let's talk to you, little brat. Never
Well,
mind. I
the
guess
only
we're gonna talk to
solution I
him.
The only solution I can think of is to have Susato do the Susato takedown on every person and thing in this room.
On every person and everything, she starts
She'll
just flipping the
become-
buckets. The
She'll become
grandfather
the
Sherlock.
girl in the china shop. That's what she'll do.
clock. Holy shit.
Oh. What the fuck?
He's just like, I've been here this whole time.
The fucking raging demon symbol appears in his back.
He's just upset that he didn't partake in this, like, in this issue.
Exchange.
Oh man.
He's just like, I want to be included too, so I will stand here dramatically. Is that chocolate bar?
It's a caramel bar.
Wait, he owns a caramel company?
Pray, do you claim to understand the depths of my despair? Dude, you're
That bar said Sholmes Caramel, so either he's a big investor, he owns a fucking caramel producing company.
Yo, Sholmes got bars?
Sholmes?
Bars.
Sholmes got bars.
Damn.
Thinking syrupy. I was trying to make a rhyme, but I couldn't. I realized I penned myself in by saying syrupy.
Shut up.
Oh no, well this is gonna be... Oh, this is gonna be us, like, fixing his deduction. Or whatever.
But there's no case yet!
Nothing's happened.
Yeah, but there's narrative tension, I guess.
Civil case. Technically, just not in court.
It's not even a case because there's no court involved. It's just there's tension happening in the room.
That's enough for...
Holy
That's
shit,
not for
we're
sure, I
actually
guess.
doing the deduction part? Oh no, never mind, okay. No, it's doing the deduction music.
Oh my.
Dude, she used Earthquake Stomp on him.
Holy shit.
It's one of her moves. What's a fucking Zappelli Haman move that I can reference that he's about to do?
Sunlight Overdrive.
Yeah, he's about to do Sunlight Overdrive or whatever.
And then he fixes Sholmes.
Or blows
way
him
to
into a
lift the
million
rock.
pieces. It's kind of unclear what Sunlight Overdrive actually does.
Well, it depends what Sholmes is. Is he
a
zombie
vampire?
secretly? Yeah.
Is he a vampire? Is he a vampire, a thrall, or a zombie? There's a spectrum.
He'll never tell.
Those are the 3 checkpoints on the opposite spectrum. No, no, it's not.
Vampire, thrall, and zombie. Great.
No, that's not true. That's a bad. Cut that. Delete it.
Got it.
It's okay. Now at least on today's stream, 2 people have said something irredeemably stupid.
What happened the first time?
I don't know.
Wait.
We were making jokes about like Pokemon types or whatever, and after the joke about Gardevoir being MILF type, I said Lopunny was slut type.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Yeah.
By the way, just not part of the dialogue. It said he turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. Was he not already?
No, you can get whiter than that.
Oh my god.
Look at his hat. Actually, he might be whiter than his hat.
He's whiter than his hat.
He's so aggressively pale.
So even Sholmes has some tint to him.
Oh my. Okay, sure.
I
Fine.
guess we're doing it.
Oh. The great Ed.
Why? What are we doing?
Nothing.
Because there's conflict.
Oh, civil case.
This counts as conflict.
They're predicted, I guess.
Oh my god.
This counts as conflict that needs to be resolved by us, right?
That'd be so funny if we finish this and it's like case 5 over. Where's this thing? Where did that thing come from?
His coat.
Staff recruitment flyer.
Don't think that's
Oh,
correct.
no.
This guy is so rich he could probably buy and sell this entire pawn shop multiple times and then just burn it.
What makes you assume that? How do you know he's rich?
Because he's so aggressively pale that the only way to keep him alive in the sun is to use dollar bills to protect his fair skin.
He wraps himself in
Like a mummy.
American way.
I was gonna say, like a mummy?
the green mummy.
That's some commentary on the state of society.
Oh, it says AG. So he's not Benedict Cumberbatch or whatever.
What?
Whatever his name was. Eggert
Ooh.
Benedict?
Errol? I'm gonna assume that means tip of the cane. Yeah.
Hmm.
That pic of Sholmes leaning in with like his goggles is probably you probably crop that, make a pretty good reaction image.
Are those initials AG?
Yes.
I wonder where I heard
Yeah.
that before.
Ooh.
The A stands for Albert, and the G stands for Cumberbatch.
Einstein.
Albert Geinstein. Hell yeah.
That's my favorite male version of Einstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if the logging cane has like a concealed compartment in it.
It's a shovel. What?
I don't think that's what this is.
Are you insane?
Yes,
Yes.
he's actually a dirt miner. He mines dirt for the world.
It was
That's where
to
we get
take
it from.
employment at this establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises.
Sholmes, you fucking.
You've done it again.
You should have just been like, you genius, Grant.
Sholmes, you've done it again. By God.
He's done it again, yeah.
Miraculous.
Incredible.
Topic 2, the great crime. Why? Just leave. You don't have. You're not stuck here. Just leave. You already
Yeah,
got.
we're a good friend. We're gonna help. And also, I think that girl would fucking shoot him if he tried to leave. With what? I'd brought some gas, I guess, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Animation.
He was about to bust the move.
He did bust the move. He busted the move, showing us what's over there in that empty space.
God damn.
he's Smooth McGroove.
So,
Luther Groove doesn't really dance though.
he dances to his own.
Yeah, but his name sounds like he should.
You should. He better.
I don't know if that's what he was looking at, man. There's something else right next to the council note that might be important.
No.
No.
Oh my god, could you imagine if the guy isn't actually a gentleman, if he's actually just like another like street dwelling ne'er-do-well, and he was about to, because he knew that the pawnbroker always had this revolver to commit suicide, and he was gonna like steal it to hold him up.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
Rob Man with his own gun. Wow.
That's
I
low.
can't believe you want to rob me with my own suicide pistol.
I reserved it only for myself. But I guess, you know what? Actually, what? You point the gun at him, and they are like, you think I'm afraid of guns? They just puts his head, like, swallows the barrel of the gun.
No.
No.
Benedict is pointing the revolver at him, and he's like, being held up by my own suicide revolver. This calls for my suicide shotgun.
Oh god.
Good lord.
You wanted to pull off a bank robbery? What are you talking about? Wow, that was a ridiculous animation.
What is happening? So no one has died, you know, so...
Not even close.
The case
Yeah,
hasn't even
I mean-
started!
The
I was gonna
closest thing to
say,
someone dying was that fucking paper cut that Benedict got from the thing.
The closest thing someone's got to dying is us 10 minutes from now once he finally finishes fucking deduction and I want to die.
I don't understand. to steal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds by tunneling beneath the pawnbrokery with his broken shovel handle.
Clearly, this guy's a mastermind.
Clearly.
I mean, he picked up on a lot of really important details, but, like, still, man. Well, Mr. Naruto, it cuts to us, and we're just like,
Give me the gun. Give me the gun.
Give me the gun, please. I need it.
Please. Make it stop.
Windy Bank is like, no, I need it.
He's wrestling over the gun. Windy Bank's like, you have a sword already.
Do it that way. So fair.
Capture your face and put your expression onto the mark.
What is that?
I'll leave the link down below. Basically, then go to VC Face.
What the fuck is that? Somebody
Saba,
watching a video?
This is Saba. I think we're getting some noise from your mic.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, we could hear
Weird.
the link down below.
Link down below.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was.
It's very
Saba's-
loud. Okay.
No
I got
wonder
it.
Saba's like touches it, like comes back into the stream like 5 minutes
Yeah.
after being like, huh, I wonder if this is what's happening. Because she's watching YouTube tutorials.
I'm trying to solve issues here.
The tutorial is how to finish Ace Attorney 5, or Ace, the Great Ace Attorney's Case 5.
Yeah,
Please.
how did you know I wasn't doing something to help stream?
She's
Huh?
looking at fucking cheat codes for this game. Cheat code to remove Sholmes's pants.
Oh man.
I didn't know you were looking at Saba's search history.
Oh my god.
Oh my.
Okay. Still,
Don't know.
I'm not upset by the fact that we're doing this because I
You're
like
not?
this. This is one of my favorite like mini games in the franchise so far. However, I'm just baffled by the fact that as far as like if we hadn't clicked on the button that said Case 5, this easily could have just been any random day so far.
Yeah. There's no reason for this to exist.
No rhyme or
in the
reason.
world. Destroy it.
Destroy it.
Destroy
All
it.
right, so
Do
it's
it.
not a staff
Read it.
recruitment flyer. In an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. All right, let's see. What the fuck? That's Lestrade. That's Lestrade, isn't it?
Yeah, that totally is.
Pretty fucking silly.
Oh my
That's
god, is
supposed to be
he?
her?
Yeah, I think that's Lestrade.
Yeah.
Do you, I wonder if this is actually a scam between the two of them.
That'd actually be pretty cool. I'd like that.
5'2". I was
Jesus.
I was generous when I said 5'3". Green crap, scuffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. Yeah.
But, would you be like a detective of some sort? No.
What was it?
A detective, like, but like this is a real novel way of solving crime.
I guess. I don't. Is there even a crime?
I don't friggin' know.
Dude, there's a debate between some people who disagree on something. I don't think any law's been broken though.
Yeah. Just kind of a dispute.
Well, it's a good thing that we love sticking our nose in trouble where we don't need it.
Oh, we sure do.
We gotta help Sholmes, he's our friend.
Friend, is he?
I still laugh about the notion of like during these deductions, when Sholmes gets something wrong, the perpetrator allows us to just kind of like hover around them looking for clues.
We stop time, we Zawarudo them.
It is cool though. Okay. Okay.
Let's be honest. We all know this is about that little music, whatever you call it.
I mean, obviously, but it doesn't make a lot of sense at the moment. I've had this cane for years. Okay. What's a ferrule?
It's the metal end of a cane.
No, I was
established-
reading.
oh.
I was reading his line.
Oh, okay. Don't get caught dead without your ferrule.
Don't get caught with your ferrule down.
Yeah, don't get caught with your ferules off.
It's super embarrassing.
It's a faux pas, if you will.
Is it under the hat?
Oh shit.
Where's our X-ray vision that allows us to see under this hat?
And under his pants.
Honestly. Oh. Oh. Oh my.
Hmm.
That is like a super thick tie. Or is it even classified as a tie, or is it more like a scarf?
The tie still.
What happened to the world of thick ties?
Thick ties.
Let's do that.
Lawrence, when men's passion, what happened to the thick ties?
Oh, thick ties.
AG? The Attorney General?
He's... Oh my god, he's sequencing the human genome. He's already got a start.
Gotcha.
I still love that meme where it's like, Sponge Boy me Bob, I'm sequenced the human genome.
Because he lied about his name. He's Arsène Lupin.
Oh.
Dude, Arsene. Did
Fuck
we
was
just
that?
hear
No-
something rip?
Yeah, so they just ripped.
I
His
think
pants,
it's
he
because
shat them.
His pants gets healed.
probably his coat from being, too small, not fit for him.
But it does fit him, or at least it looks like it does.
No, I'm going for his pants, I bet.
Not the handle. Okay.
It's his elbow, his armpit. That's what ripped.
He made one of the arm fart noises.
Oh yeah.
But how would he know what the watchword was for the coat?
I mean,
How
He's
did
clearly been,
how
like,
did Gina
following
know?
her.
How did Gina? Oh, yeah, there you go. How did Gina know the watchword?
No, she hangs around. She probably just eavesdropping.
Oh yeah, it is too small for him. Hmm. Can I present? I guess I'm just gonna present this. There's not really much else, so.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
We did it.
Question mark.
So now we have to figure out
Yeah.
what his actual crime was. He wanted to abscond with the redeemed item, and the great crime was that he wanted to make off with the discs in the music box. I guess.
Sure.
I like the idea that just because this guy looks prim and proper, if he is just another thief, that he gets away with it because he looks so confident.
Hey, that's where con man came from, so
Yeah.
guess so.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Oh, he just brought up the
Yeah.
same point that I did. He was like, "How would I know the watchword if I wasn't the one to deposit it?"
Zach, are you in the game?
No. Thank
That sounds
God.
like that sounds like someone who's in the game would say.
Yeah, if Zach was the name, he had to be in Old Britain.
Yeah.
What if he's streaming to the future?
Oh my God.
Streaming to the future.
Future.
Future. Future.
God. This? Oh. He just writes down the fucking words?
Oh my god. Bro.
Aww. Alright, well. Method revealed by this. I'll present it. Why not? The notelet.
The manlet.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
Pamphlet.
Pamphlets.
If
I like this
pamphlet,
word association game.
Does pamphlet mean like small pamph?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Would that make a map just a paper?
I guess so. Well, if it's a small paper, is it a papelet?
Much to think about.
Good meeting, everyone. We did.
Yeah. Well, let's adjourn and reconvene and consolidate our answers tomorrow.
We'll table this for next meeting.
Prepare our notes. List of things the Paradox Palace need to do. Figure out what a pamphlet is. Destabilize the central government. And refill the ice cream machine.
Yeah, that's
It's
one of
broken
The ice
again.
cream machine. Yeah.
Fix that ice cream machine. Man, now I just want
ice cream.
SCP back.
Because someone keeps fucking putting their fingers in it.
Yikes. A finger producing ice
Cold
cream machine.
fingies.
John.
Oh, bingy.
John, famous member of the Paradox Pals.
Yeah. John Tron.
Yeah, you don't know.
He would be so lucky to join our ranks.
Yes.
He wishes, God.
Examine. Yeah, it's got blood on it. What the Oh, for Mr. McGilded!
Mr. Magoo.
The gilded. He's burnt.
What if
He's
this?
burnt.
What if this last case is like an overarching linking case where it was all fraud, from the first case, all the way to this case.
The first
All of
case
it.
was
God.
the guy getting murdered by poison in his tooth.
Yes.
Okay, the ones after we've reached England.
So the last 3 cases.
Yes.
Okay. Understood.
All of the cases.
Every case.
Every case of painting.
I like how the big 4 McGilded it goes over the timing circles.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a very good music box. Magnus McGilded, vaporized before our eyes. How? But that's not fair. How would we know that he's precisely the right size for that overcoat?
Yes.
What an
keep him in our
awkward
pocket.
size. Wait, so Gina Lestrade is still smaller than Magnus, but Magnus is a small man?
He's a leprechaun,
Yeah.
clearly.
Is
true.
is Magnus McGilded like 5'5" by 5'5"? Like, is he a square?
Oh no, he's only 5'5"
He's
because of the
cubic.
hat.
He's measured in cubes.
He's a
He's 5'5" by 5'5" by 5'5". He's thick as hell.
Oh my god, that man's so wide.
Instead of getting on airplanes, he just gets in a cargo box. He fits perfectly.
Airplane?
Right with the suitcases.
Like he doesn't fly economy or like luxury or whatever or first class. He just flies in the cargo plane.
Do you remember when this is?
Yeah, feudal Japan, right?
Yeah, he pays
Feudal
for the
Japan!
future. He pays for the future.
That's a
in fact.
reference in case you forgot. This
Yes,
takes
it-
place in feudal Japan.
In feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Everybody's curled
Yeah,
up
no.
into a little ball.
There was a. I still think of it every time we play this game, but a long time when we were still Ace Attorney 1 or 2, I think. I referenced this game, and my guesstimate was that it took place sometime in feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
Feudal Japan.
I like Fatal Japan. That would be a
Fatal Japan.
really good battle royale series.
Feudal Japan.
It's precisely on the day that the omnibus murder took place. Holy fuck.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Benedict is like,
Okay.
Wait, look! The gun's gone from the table.
Oh my.
Han, we got a smoke launcher. Go.
Yeah. That'll
we
do
don't.
it.
According
Tell
to my
him no.
something is wrong.
Are you just gonna hand it over?
No, obviously
No, tell
not.
him no. So, fuck this guy.
Fuck this.
Fuck this dude.
What are you gonna do? Shoot me?
Yeah, okay, idiot. With
Nice
you and
try.
one gun.
Oh, Mr. Windy Bank. I wanted to
got a
point it to his head, please.
No, so he did just have an extra gun.
Oh.
God damn it.
The only one who's doing
actually-
any killing in here is me.
Oh
The
my.
only one who's doing any dying here is also me.
Oh, it's
Luigi!
Dr. Gregson.
Hello. Delicious.
Was it? I don't know.
If I had to use one word to describe this scene, it'd be scrumptious.
Mm.
Who are you, man? I don't understand.
I'm Zappelli. Shu Takumi stole me from Iraqi's universe.
I just want to go back.
This disc is the key. You see, if you play this disc in a DVD player, play season 2 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Pog.
Is that the season that what's his face is in? I don't fucking.
No.
You're
Oh,
thinking
no.
you're thinking part 2.
What's the difference?
Parts 1 and 2 both fit into the first season of JoJo.
Yeah.
Season
Okay.
2 and Season 3 are both Part 3, because Part 3 is very long and very good. Just thinking about that now, could you imagine if Steel Ball Run is 3 seasons long? Oh.
It's long enough. Holy shit.
Oh, dude, it's so good, though!
Passion Orange Guava?
Could you imagine
yeah.
if Steel Ball Run in real life, when the episodes come out, takes exactly as long as it does in story, which is a year and 6 months?
Jesus.
Oh, that'd be
I thought you were
so
gonna say,
good.
imagine Steel Ball Run in real life. Would you enter?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding? I don't want to ride a horse.
Well, you're
and
a-
evidently, cars don't work.
You're a fool. You could get a stand, maybe.
It's
Or die.
only if I
Or
almost
die.
die in the middle of the fucking Arizona desert.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
But we have an advantage. We live in the United States where the Arizona desert is.
Where the Arizona is.
What the fuck? He's
They
getting
slap
away
him?
by spinning.
Fucking spin to win bastard over here.
He pressed E.
yeah.
Well, nothing I can do about that. Like my hand is full with delicious potatoes.
Dude, who doesn't love fries? Wait, I know.
I don't like fries.
I knew it.
Oh my god.
Never mind. Zach preferences don't matter here. Who doesn't love fries? Nobody. Of importance.
Zach's preferences don't matter. Looks at the game schedule for the next like 2 months. And like,
For
yeah,
the next 2 weeks, it's this.
1 more week. Today's our last
For
day.
the next 10 years.
Next.
For the next
we
thousand years.
still have an entire second Great Ace Attorney game to go, and apparently it's even better than this.
It's even better.
Oh, you know what I just realized? Fucking this entire time, Pokemon MMO Unova has been the title of this game, of the stream.
Oh
Say it.
Wow.
Keep
There you
Well,
go.
Lawrence, how do you feel about all these Pokemon we're catching?
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
Oh, nothing happened!
What?
Wow.
It's so weird because so much happened and that would have been super cool, but it's just so weird because that's not a
That wasn't the
case.
case.
It's so strange.
It was a setup.
Strange and unsolved mysteries of the world.
We've been had.
We've been rattled, boys.
Oh, there's 2 more hours of this. Can I parsec somebody? Tired. I want to take a nap.
The first Obo stream where Obo was not even there.
Ah, she got the coat back.
Good for her.
All they do
Let's
is
be
raise you a
honest,
pack of
probably
knives and then
stole it.
steal stuff from you. The Scappa.
Could she have had like from like the Mr. McGilda case? Could she have been given like a mission or something, or did she know something about him? That's why she wanted to take
I'm
him.
assuming she was given a mission by McGilded. Like I don't think McGilded actually died. I think McGilded put in like a body double or something.
What if she's a spirit medium and she's channeling Mr. McGill to write down instructions for her?
Oh my god.
There hasn't been anything crazy like that so far, huh?
There hasn't been anything.
Hey, man, don't be like that. End of statement.
That was the most, like, not believing in the words you said.
What are we talking about? I'm totally happy. Everything's great.
Does someone want a parsec?
Does someone want a parsec? Nah, but seriously, who No?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I'm leaving. I mean, not now, but, like, you know, later.
Oh,
Autoplay.
Exactly.
Sleeping stream.
that's a great advertisement for the Ace Attorney franchise.
Sleeping
sick!
stream.
Sick autoplay.
Yes. I love Ace Attorney. Oh, Ace Attorney.
I have something for you, but I will tell you to make you anticipate it, but then say, sorry, sucker, I'm telling you this later. Wonderful. Just what I like to hear.
Fantastic.
So that's her corner of the room. Oh man.
That's where she sleeps. Where she exists, where she's allowed.
Oh, what a surprise! Oh, he's all sad again.
Depressed Aroni.
He's focused. I don't know who you are.
silent stream. I don't know, do we want to banter or something?
I already talked about my only banter topic, and the other ones would be Zach bringing them up. I don't know. I don't know if this girl is sapping too much of Zach's energy to banter.
Huh? What?
Well, kind of answers my question.
Tired stream.
Tired stream.
Oh, I kind of want to get food.
What are you gonna get, Adrian?
I don't know.
Damn.
I feel like Italian, which I haven't had in a while. I've not had Italian in a couple months on account of I'm still lactose intolerant.
You're intolerant to Italians?
I said lactose intolerant.
Oh, I just heard intolerant.
If I was intolerant to Italians, I wouldn't be here, thank you very much.
What? Wait,
That's
what?
hilarious.
Who's Italian?
Me.
Oh.
I'm not. I confused Zach with my other Italian friend who is
Not
a year
Italian.
younger than me. Who's a year younger than me and
Yeah,
also a
you
I
girl.
just eat pasta.
Yeah, you know, Zach.
He eats a lot of pasta.
Close enough, right?
Yeah.
Everyone that eats pasta is Italian.
Yeah.
Quantified as an Italian.
Honorary Italian.
Well,
Weak.
Play with a kazoo to entertain himself?
I'm just hearing screaming. Or that's a
Screaming
toy. I
piece
don't know
of
what I'm
shit.
hearing, Adrian, but it's coming from you.
I love Grand Illusions.
Have any of you guys ever had have any of you ever tried the Brussels sprouts at Romano's Macaroni Grill?
I've never been there.
Let me save you the trouble. If you go there, don't order the Brussels sprouts. They're way too sweet.
Oh man,
Sweet?
I don't like
Yes.
overly sweet Brussels sprouts.
Me neither. They shouldn't be sweet, and yet they are.
That's a weird thing for Brussels sprouts to be.
That's what I'm saying. So if you go to Romano's Grill, don't order the Brussels sprouts.
Order solely Brussels sprouts. Be like, I want a bowl of Brussels sprouts.
Ugh.
And then you squeeze the sweetness out of them and you drink it.
Which should I get, Italian or a burger?
Italian burger. Just slap some spaghetti on it.
Saba, give me your sage advice. What would you rather have right now, Italian or a burger?
We just come back to sweet Brussels sprouts.
I say
Yeah.
Italian.
All right, Lawrence, let me get your input. How about you, Italian or a burger?
Italian.
All right, Zach, how about your input, Italian or a burger? That's probably closer to Italian, so I guess I'm ordering Italian for myself.
I thought Zach was gonna say something like, well, I have pasta a lot, so clearly I'm gonna go with burger.
Did you forget that one Jackbox night or not Jackbox, Wavelength game where we were doing the burger thing and I was roasting Zach for no good reason like I always do?
I know what you're referencing, but it's very non-specific.
I was referencing, it was that time where we were like, Zach was talking something about a burger, and I was like, Zach never eats burgers, he just eats Italian pasta all the time, and Zach was like, and I was like, you're not supposed to talk right now, and then went Super Saiyan and blasted a hole in my wall.
Whoa, that's sick, dude.
Wow.
Is it possible to learn that power?
If you're a Saiyan.
Only through minutes of study.
Minutes of study.
Only after grueling minutes of study.
Yep. Oh my god, what the hell? I'm looking at this menu. What the fuck is this? Oh my god, okay, that was just a really bad crop. I saw, hang on,
Interesting.
I saw
What's going
this.
on over there?
I was looking. I was looking at the menu for Italian, and this was the first thing I saw for the image for steak and potatoes.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Whoa, wait, what is that?
But it's
That is
just a
not
really
good.
bad crop of like some herbs that are on a steak, because that's just the thumbnail for it. That's the actual image. And I was just like, oh my, what?
Ah, okay, that's
That's better. But like the crop for that is vile.
That was horrifying.
I was like, that's a steak of potatoes?
You want some
like a-
green steak?
it's like a jump scare.
You want a brick of barf?
Trigger warning, Italian.
But yeah, there's the brick of barf option if I wanted to order that, I guess.
Truly. Truly an option.
I'm glad that finally in case 5 we're bringing up the fact that Iris's dad was the murder victim in case 1. We had two entire cases to bring that up prior, but we wanted to save it for case 5 for drama.
Because case 5 is...
Drama.
What do you guys think I should get? Lasagna or spaghetti and meatballs or seafood ravioli?
As my friend Garfield always says, Lazag.
All right, Lawrence, Saba, Zach, what are your inputs between those three?
As the secret command for the secret formula.
Or mushroom ravioli. I guess.
Ravioli, bring me the formula.
Well, which one, seafood ravioli or mushroom ravioli?
Hold on, let me
Seafood,
consult
they're on
SpongeBob.
water.
SpongeBob says mushroom ravioli.
Okay.
Damn, never mind.
Saba, how about you?
No, man. I don't
One
know.
of the two raviolis, a lasagna, or a spaghetti and meatballs?
As someone that's not like the other two, let me make your life harder by saying spaghetti.
As the other two.
All right, Zach,
that means
how about you?
What the
What
fuck
should
is that?
what's your vote on what I should eat? A type of ravioli, seafood and mushroom, lasagna, or spaghetti and meatballs?
I don't know. Can I get like a soup? I'm like peckish. I'm not super hungry.
But you're thirsty.
Well, let me tell you the great news then, Zach. This restaurant I'm ordering from doesn't give you particularly big servings.
Oh.
They give you
So,
a thimble of soup.
help me pick my option,
thimble of soup.
please.
What time? What
I
time?
wanted
What
to-
time is it there for you right now?
5 o'clock, 5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Has the sun gone down yet?
Not yet, but it'll probably be down by the time the food gets here.
You
Oh
should.
yeah, we got daylight savings time tomorrow.
You should
It
do a
Yeah.
mushroom
Ooh.
lasagna. No, mushroom ravioli.
Okay.
Mushroom lasagna.
So that's 2 votes for mushroom, so mushroom wins out in the end.
Damn.
So I'll get some mushroom ravioli for myself tonight.
I think I'm gonna have ramen again. For like the 5th meal in a row.
Unfortunate.
Oh my.
I wish I
Ant-
could just eat like. That'd be really nice.
What are you, Goron?
It would be convenient because rocks are like everywhere. I don't have to go that far for rock. I have to go
Like, you
pretty.
could eat
I have to go pretty
but-
fucking far for food, man. It's like a 20-minute drive just for me to like get to the first place that has food.
What if you were like a Goron but you can only eat certain rocks? Like the rocks outside aren't as good as the rocks in Doom Mountain or whatever.
I'd eat Doom Mountain.
You'd have to relocate.
That's fine.
Are there any Doom Mountains near you, Zach?
I mean they're given different names and they're usually covered in burning crosses, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh dear.
That's the name of one of the mountains. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh my.
Oh my.
He duplicated the music box disc by putting it into caramel.
Well, sure.
Grant, you
Fucking-
can't also be exasperated. Grant, I demand that you flip your attitude around.
All right, Zach. So, what game are we playing?
Grant the shock
That's
jock.
pretty cool.
It's really shocking how immediately you doing like your fake upbeat whatever. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a YouTuber.
All right, guys. Today we're going to be playing Ace Attorney the Great.
Video ends.
Today's sponsor is
On.
RaveCon.
Yeah.
Hey Zach, do you want to stream Prodigy instead?
No,
Well,
I want to die, not torture myself. Why do you think we stopped playing Pokemon?
fair.
Because he kept dying.
For love.
Therefore,
Whoa.
you're saying.
Look at this music box cover of the game theme.
That's pretty cool.
Cool.
But why does the music box disc have to be there? Isn't that a cylinder?
You're a cylinder.
Oh, a new
Ben.
type of player was produced which used discs. Okay. But why would we want this? Don't you already have records? I see a Victor phone or whatever in the background. What's it called? Oh my god. that dog.
What are we?
Victrola? I don't know.
No, I have a Victrola. It's over there.
Scream.
I'm gonna eat that dog.
It's coming from me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm surprised you guys pick up on that because that didn't used to be the case. They didn't used to pick up my dog.
But now he scream.
For ice cream.
Ooh.
If you could eat,
Praise the ice
if you
cream.
could eat any one non-food item, what do you think would taste the best?
Without legal repercussions or biological repercussions.
Yeah.
Human.
Okay.
Like if one non-food item became a food item,
No.
or like
Just eat it as is, and you don't suffer legally or physically for it.
Yeah.
Mona Lisa.
The Mona Lisa. That might be really gross though. It's all like old oil.
Oh yeah, it's poisonous as fuck. I'm sure.
But there'd be so much cultural fallout.
Yeah, it's about the experience.
Think about it. You could be the guy that ate the fucking Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
You could sell yourself as an NFT, I guess.
You could sell yourself
And then you just
as an
travel to
NFT.
different people's houses. Yeah.
I would pick this tube of sunblock next to me because it looks like toothpaste a little bit, and it smells nice. It smells like the beach.
Nice.
Ooh.
I would choose either crayon or Play-Doh.
Look, it's Uncle Later on the left. Oh,
And there's
Look at his
Vince.
face. He did it.
Oh, that's a
Zuko.
scar on his face? I thought he was just, scrunching his face to the max.
To the
Oh.
Yeah.
Back.
you know, he got one of those famous X scars, which you get when someone fucking cross chops you.
Yeah. It's a shame. Hate to see it happen.
What's that?
No, that's,
Isn't there
I was just about to say he got that from, someone trying to exorcise him with the cross and, because he's a vampire,
Someone
right?
tried to exercise him, his personal trainer.
His
Isn't there
personal
a-
priest.
Isn't there a JoJo bit where like the guy does like a cross chop and it's like it's the perfect move, the best offense and
Oh, yeah.
defense.
Yeah, that's the Thunder
Yeah.
Cross split attack.
Yeah, there you go. He got Thunder Cross split attacked.
Yes.
And then they spend like 5 minutes discussing how that move is perfect, and then immediately they show how it's not perfect.
Like he does the
Yeah.
Thunder Cross split attack, and then Dio just spreads his legs and kills him with his fucking uncanny vampire ability to turn the world around him to ice.
Cold as ice.
JoJo is flawless.
much like the Thunder Cross chop attack.
Yeah. Nothing can penetrate it.
Yeah. The perfect mix of
What about-
defense and offense.
Yeah. What would you eat, Slava?
No, I mean,
A sword?
no, that would be. Yeah, what would be good?
Oh.
Maybe like something super fluffy,
Like
cat.
Lulu.
or like cotton. I don't know, because it just reminds me of cotton candy.
Cotton. How vile!
How?
But cotton candy.
Minus the candy.
It's just cotton.
These do just be cotton.
This autoplay is a lifesaver.
Are you just like leaning back?
I'm nursing a headache at the moment.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh no.
Just take something.
Water.
Well then,
Well then.
probably take like aspirin or something.
Nah.
Might
We
help.
could always end stream a bit early too if you need to.
Nah.
I gotta say, I thought you were being dramatic when you said that you didn't feel like doing the stream. And I was like, aha, very funny, Zach.
Ace
you good?
Attorney, Ace Attorney is
Are you
fun,
good?
but you need to be in a specific mindset for Ace Attorney.
And we are all not in that mindset.
I was gonna say, I'm playing Prodigy.
I blame John.
Got a headache.
John.
Was John the guy that we said was on stream earlier for some reason? I only remember on jokes from this stream ago.
This stream ago, John was the man who broke our ice cream machine in the break.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
John Egbert. That's a Homestuck
Damn
character,
him.
by the way.
Homestuck in the Paradox Pals. Get it out.
So what an ambitious crossover.
Oh no. Ambitious and unwanted.
By the way, I know that no one asked, and that's why I'm saying it, but I got to the point in Prodigy where they're testing me on geometry again, and I sure did fail this class in high school.
Oh my.
Uh-oh.
Thankfully, it's very simple so far, but you just have to find fucking areas or whatever.
Has she been here the whole time?
No, she just arrived.
We'll get her out.
I'm
Throw her
trying.
out the window. Throw her out the window.
Goodbye.
There she goes.
Perish.
No.
Fuck.
Don't bring her back. No.
Her hat kind of looks like a frog.
Irish.
Good observation.
Astute
Frog hat.
observation.
Whoa,
Froggy
what's
chair.
this shit?
Her hair kind of looks like a parasite.
That's her.
Saba
that's
was
just who she
defending
is.
Iris super hard when she was first introduced, so I'm surprised that she's not coming to her aid now.
Guys, which of these Pokemon should I capture?
The bottom one is way better.
You don't like creepy ghost guy?
I like
No, the bottom guy's better, I agree.
join me, Lawrence.
Lawrence, do you agree? Do you think I should capture the little ram thing instead of the ghost?
No.
Itchy.
Cat.
He looks so cute, but the ghost is also going boo.
Yeah.
Also, he might haunt my dreams if I don't pick him.
Yeah.
So,
join me.
I'm gonna have to go with the ghost.
Peer pressure.
I'm sorry, Lawrence, but you've been outvoted.
Fuck.
I appreciate you voicing your opinion, though. Every vote matters in democracy, except for when it doesn't.
Hey,
Except when it does.
luckily, how lucky that sort of stuff doesn't happen in real life.
Oh, fuck. What's the volume of the falling cylinder? I don't remember this shit.
Well,
Volume of a
Oh,
cylinder?
a volume of a cylinder. Good luck. That's like a specific formula that I never
okay.
remember.
No,
it
it's
down,
two.
it's loud.
Isn't it 2 pi r times the height?
No.
Or
it's,
pi r
That's
squared over the height?
Well,
times
it just
height?
gave me the hints. It says it's pi times radius squared times height. And so I have
Pi
to
r
approximate.
squared. That's what I said.
Yeah, but you said over the height. It's times the height.
Yeah, my bad.
Okay. It says use my calculator. Thank you. So pi
Oh, you get it calculated.
times. Well, no, it doesn't give
Summoned?
me one. I have to use my own.
Use your calculator. Your mind.
My mind calculator.
Okay, round to the nearest whole number. So that would be 151 centimeters cubed. Yay, I did it! I really struggled
did
with
it.
cubed and shit when I was school
done.
age. You done did good, son. Oh, the little ice thing is named Bataram. And the ghost is named Squally.
Bataram sounds way
weird.
cooler.
Squally's not even a ghost punch.
Squally sounds cool. Squally is what I call the protagonist from Final Fantasy VIII, because it's a term of endearment.
Squall is what I call my homies. Yo, what up, my squallies?
Oh no.
You don't have to say oh no. It's fine when I say it.
Listen, I'm friends with some squalls, okay?
Squall is what he calls his enemies.
Oh.
Oh, volume of a sphere. Fuck. Okay, 4 over 3 times pi times radius squared. Or radius cubed. Okay. Alright. So it'd be 4 over 3 times pi times 8 to the third, which would be and my food's on the way here. Hooray.
Nice.
I wonder if there's like high school kids that have to play Prodigy as part of their curriculum.
Is it like a crazy popular app?
I have no idea. All I know is that the school I work at uses it.
What is it about Ace Attorney that really drains you?
When the plot happens.
It does a silly little thing called story.
And it has too much of it. Get it out.
Man. Maybe this is why Herlock Sholmes is depressed. Oh my god.
Because he's in an Ace Attorney
In the
game.
game that he's in.
Holy shit.
Well,
I mean, you heard him. He was all like, oh, this is life, and I hate it.
well, on the plus side, are you guys ready for Brilliant Diamond?
More
Shiny
Pokemon?
Pearl.
I don't know. I'm getting lost on which Pokemon game is which Pokemon.
Gen 4 remake.
Volume of a cone. Okay. Oh, I think this is the one that Zach was talking about earlier. Pi times radius squared times height over 3.
No, yeah, it's that weird one.
Man, pi sure does show up in a lot of equations. I wonder if it's important or something.
Nah.
You're probably right.
Not. Who needs it?
Who needs such a thing?
How well did you guys do in math classes?
Good.
Well, but I didn't like them.
I started disliking it like when it gets to pre-calculus, because I don't know, for some reason pre-calculus was harder and not even the same thing as what I did in calculus, which was incredibly stupid in my mind. But
Do you
algebra
feel like-
was fun.
Do you feel like your pre-cal experience helped prepare you for the stuff you had to do in calculus?
Not really. That's why I said like no. Like half of the stuff I did in pre-calc didn't really actually. We didn't even do any of it in calc,
Wow.
which is funny.
Have you guys heard of the most beautiful math equation?
1 plus 2.
No. It's it uses E, pi, and I. So
So you eat pie?
yes. It is E to the power of I times pi plus 1 equals 0. Because it is the idea of combining all of these irrational shit plus the most simple numbers that we have and then equaling 0. Another
Wow.
number.
Hmm.
It was
Interesting.
regarded as the most beautiful math equation.
Well, next time I
Admit
pick
to
up
the
girls, I'm gonna
imaginary
use
power.
this. Next time I pick up girls, I'm gonna use this, and if I don't get anyone, Grant, I need a stern talking to you.
Man.
Damn.
Compulsory
Alright.
wingman.
Couple. What
I've
was
actually-
that term for the wingman? I keep forgetting.
The coon something.
Coon sextant.
Sexton.
Fuck, you know, I have to write it down now.
I've actually been watching a couple videos about mathematicians, not actually absorbing any of the math they did, but just their like history. And I think Terrence Tao is pretty cool.
What was he known for?
He's known for being a child prodigy and graduating, I think, as the youngest person to ever get a PhD.
Dang.
And like, definitely younger than 17.
So what you're saying is he's smarter than my dad.
Probably.
But they
I think what's interesting is that there was a bunch of there's this guy whose research involved child prodigies, and he like did an interview with them, and you can see like they'd had a dialogue back and forth where it's like he was a prodigy, but like he didn't really have anything bad happen to him. Like his parents were both doctors, and they both understood like we need to balance out your academic career with your social life. And his parents went through a bunch of accommodations to like make sure that he was, you know, challenged and stimulated, but also healthy socially and mentally. And like it all came together to make a really, really good mathematician. So
That's really cool.
Real cool.
he kind of looks like a nerd, but you know, comes with the territory, I guess.
Comes
Yeah.
with the territory. Sometimes you're just gonna look like a geek.
Yeah.
He looks like a guy that you'd see in Silicon Valley. If you know what I'm saying?
And at that point, you just gotta embrace the look.
Yeah.
You know, like this could be a guy that you pass by in Silicon Valley working his laptop at the mall.
He looks like
Yeah.
a guy I went to high school with.
He does. He looks like several guys I went to high school with.
Yeah. All rolled up into one.
What was his name?
He's also Australian, Terrence Tao, but spelled with one R.
Terrence.
He's also Australian, by the way.
Damn.
Those darn Australians. Their smartness.
And they're smartness.
Smartness.
Get it out of here.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
Who needs them?
I missed a brain that I can understand this. I don't even know what that
Yeah.
equation is.
Fuck.
Sad.
No, I know that equation. I just don't understand what's going on. Fuck, I haven't done complicated math in years.
What are you looking at?
The below the most beautiful equation in the world.
Oh, I thought you were looking at Prodigy.
Miss the brain that can understand that. Where'd it go? Bring it back.
I just can't believe that I had a brain that understood that.
At one point, yeah.
And then we all promptly ejected it from our brain.
Yeah. Excuse me, I need more space for my art.
For my art. I need more space for some song lyrics.
I need some space for some cooking recipes.
Yes.
10 cubed is 1,000, right? I'm not going insane.
10 cubed.
10 cubed?
Yeah, 10 cubed.
Times 10.
Oh,
and
10
then,
cubed.
And then 10 times 10 times 10.
Yeah, it's 1,000, right?
Yes, that'd be 1,000.
Okay, so something's fucking up here. I have no idea what's wrong, though. Guys, help me with my extra credit homework, please. I don't know what I did wrong. Anyone remember how to find the volume of sphere?
Fill it with
Isn't that-
water.
Fill
Water.
it with
Something
water
about
and
radius
start from the
and blah
bottom.
blah blah.
Well, I was gonna say, the way that you actually use practical to find volume is that you take a full basin of water with a big dish under it, and then drop the desired object, assuming that it's not buoyant, into the dish so it sinks, and then you collect the water that spills out, and that's the volume of the
Yep.
object.
And then you drink it.
And then you drink it, and then you gain that volume in mass,
Yeah.
and you just become bigger.
And
That's how bodybuilders work, by the way. They just spend all day filling up giant tubs of water with stuff.
do you also have to
Bobby.
drink Eureka, or is that an outdated strategy?
Eureka? How do you drink Eureka?
No, how do you have to
The
yell
city.
Eureka?
Oh, I thought you said drink Eureka, like for a sports drink.
Listen, drinking Eureka is an older strategy.
You know how they have like Monster Energy drink for like people that need energy. Eureka is for that, but for brain cells. It's practically a mind-enhancing drug.
Adderall.
It's Adderall. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
we don't call it Adderall no more. We call it Eureka.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, dude, can you pass the Eureka?
Hey man, I got some Eureka on the side.
Ooh.
Here, you got a test coming up.
Yes, I do.
Oh my god, I seriously don't know what I did wrong here. What? Oh my god, I feel dumb. I don't know. I don't even know what happened that I did wrong, but
Okay.
apparently my answer is in the 4,000. The answer is in the 500s.
Do you think you'll get to a level in Prodigy where where all of us have to like group together? And
I don't think you guys. I don't want to help you. I don't want to force you to, but I don't think I could get most to participate in this because I don't think you guys want to do this math in your free time.
Math.
Nah.
Here we go. I will say that the names they give the Pokemon in Prodigy are a lot less inspired than the Pokemon names.
That, yeah, I believe that.
There was a plant thing with like a big plant hat and 2 plant arms. They just called it Shade.
Damn.
He do be giving it though.
I guess. It's not like there's like Dark type in this though.
Oh man, things are getting dramatic.
Are they?
I don't know. I just heard the music. I heard the music picking up. I'm like, is it something?
Something? Hello?
Something? Plot? Hello?
Hello?
Plot?
Stimuli? Hello?
Visual stimulus?
something to activate my other brain cells.
On the one hand,
Sorry.
oh, sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was gonna say they've been sleeping for too long.
I was gonna say, on the one hand, I want to move on from this fucking geometry because I hated this subject when I was a kid. But on the other hand, I realized that if we go further than geometry, I'm probably gonna struggle just even more. So, you know what? Fine.
Hopefully.
I'll accept it.
It do be that time.
Oh shit! Hang on. Okay. So.
Oh yeah, Zach, Arcane comes out today
Oh yeah.
at 7 o'clock.
BST?
Yeah. Because I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch Arcane, and then it was like, psych, fool.
That's a
Doesn't come out till 7, and I'm like,
I hate
Oh, a gun happened. Also, my food's here. I'll be right back.
Shom's gonna die.
Someone's been shot.
okay.
Shums has been shot. Okay.
Oh, what's
Wow,
this? Wow, yeah.
Hey, Bobby.
Bobby.
What's up?
Bobby, yo! It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
Happened to your gains, bro? What's going on? All right, see ya.
Look at your waistline, dude.
Damn.
Going for that ballerina waistline.
The ballerina waistline. The Dorito body. Oh, hey.
Shit. Animation.
Animation.
Oh, he's dead.
Mr. Jones.
No, he's been shot.
No, he's dead.
How bad is it?
Call
He's
it
super
right now.
dead.
Call it.
Time of death.
Shums, stop talking.
Behind that door.
He pulls out his watch like, I need to get time of death.
Yeah.
Hurry.
Shums, you probably have a more accurate watch than I do. What's the time?
Can I borrow yours? Gun barrel pokes back out.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Oh, he did get murked.
Damn.
Oh.
And
It's Gina.
Gina?
Double kill?
Double kill?
Double kill. If Sholmes die, he only needs 2 more for the Predator missile.
What is this, Nuketown?
Yeah.
The answer to your question is yes.
Yo.
The answer to your question.
That was an entire literally 45-minute section of the game that was just exposition.
Woo!
By the way.
I'm so glad they crammed it in on the final fucking case. Bang.
Again. Ah, said the person. Filled with holes, said the body.
Said the body.
the body.
Is there... I didn't play Call of Duty. I don't know if any of you did either. I assume some of you maybe did. Is there an explanation as to why a bunch of military people are running around a nuclear testing facility and then it's possible for that place to get nuked while they're running around there shooting each other?
Yeah, obviously, Call of Duty is known for its plot and lore. Listen, they had to kill the other team.
Well, like in Overwatch, they do at least a vague attempt of like, oh, there's a point you have to capture.
they?
Why vaguely, where it's like, here's a point, and you guys have to capture it, and because you guys are, some of you are on Overwatch.
I think the
some of you
answer
are
to
on
what you're looking
Overwatch.
for in that case is war.
Okay.
War never changes.
War
I guess the answer then would be it because it's cool.
If
Essentially.
to be fair, in a real world scenario, if one of your soldiers was able to kill 25 enemy insurgents, but then they're still not backing down, you might want to call in a nuke. That seems kind of intense.
Not as bad as nukes, but reasonable. Anyway.
Yeah, but we can make nukes like Tic Tacs, so it's fine.
Like
I'm gonna quiet while I eat now, so enjoy that blessed silence again.
Goodbye.
This case is going to be very long.
Oh boy.
The fact that we are over 2 hours into the case and it just started.
Something happened.
That sounds.
Well, I mean, didn't they do the same thing with like the last Ace Attorney? Like, oh, we arrived at the mountain shrine to do that. We like talked to a bunch of people.
True,
And
but there
then
was
this
still like a thing, right? Like earlier on than like 2 hours.
I don't know. I don't remember the timing frame of it.
I feel like something happened more.
Hey Saba, do you remember from script writing class when what's his face was? I think one of the few things I was actually there for. I think he had an adage about writing a scene, get there late and leave early. I think it was.
Yeah.
We're like 4 hours early for the scene.
Yeah.
They're still setting it up.
True.
They're still putting out chairs and shit.
Like having the earlier scene establish the pawnbrokery and like the potential like people involved that might be involved with whatever incident just occurred, totally fine. By premise, not a problem. The problem comes from the fact that it took an hour and a half, followed by 45 minutes of exposition, where we had to cover. Oh, by the way, did you know that, or do you remember that Iris's dad is the one who died in case 1? Plus manuscripts about the Beast of Baskervilles.
The boy of Baskervilles. The good boy.
The good boy of Baskervilles.
A Bob of Baskin Robbins.
No. So many
Yeah.
flavors.
34 flavors.
He's at Saint Sinners. Is that what that said?
I don't think I want to go
That's
to a
a fucked
hospital
up
called
place.
Saint Sinners.
Who names it that?
I got some bad vibe from that place.
Yeah.
He's not allowed visitors. I mean,
He's
at
not
least
allowed to live.
So Herlock Sholmes just got shot, which is
Sure did.
it's interesting, needless to say. But at least in terms of the case that we're going to be doing, at least the actual shop owner's dead.
At least someone died.
We have a crime.
Well, because it's not
There's
even
no longer
necessarily
a
me
silver case.
fishing for a crime. It's just that, like, and I said it before, but like case 4 was really weird because the entire case was written and spoken of as if the lady died. But nah, she just got a knife in the back and she's fine. Like, she's recovering.
Yeah.
To the point where I don't even know, like, is she gonna show up in this case? Like, why? Why did she not die from the knife wound?
Well, I think it's like you said, where it's the idea of so the culprit isn't seen in a horribly negative light, I guess. Of like, oh, slap on the wrist, you assaulted this poor woman, rather than you killed. It's not a good solution.
It
I'm
might
not
it
defending
might have
it, but-
actually it might have actually been exceedingly more interesting to have this wife who so frequently is used to like tormenting her husband that like the ramifications aren't just directed at her spouse, it's also directed at innocence. That would have been really interesting to see the character have to grapple with the notion of her unchecked anger led to the death of an innocent lady.
Well, that would mean there are consequences in the Ace Attorney universe.
But the worst game in the series, Ace Attorney 2, is the only one that has consequences. I want to avenge my brother who died by getting his head bit off by a lion. Oh, I'm in jail now.
Well, I'm heading out. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
See you next week.
I just want to chime in real quick and say that similar to last case of this game, a slight similarity. Bat didn't die, he's in a coma. He's recovering, technically. He's effectively dead, but he's not actually dead.
Who is what?
Acro's brother, the paralyzed what's-his-face.
Oh, Acro and Bat, yeah.
Yeah, he's technically not dead, he's in a coma recovering, kind of, maybe, not really.
Not really, he got his head bit by a lion. It's like, I don't know if you come back from that, usually.
But he's not dead, he's just in a coma.
That's how I want to live my life. Not dead, but in a coma.
That's how you are right now. You just have to wake up, Lawrence. Just wake up.
The
Just
accident
wake
was
up.
5 years ago, Lawrence, you can't keep blaming yourself for it.
Not sure how I feel about taking a 10-year-old child to the scene of a murder. Flashback to fucking Pearl.
Yeah. All right. Some stuff.
Oh my god, there's 2 places.
Yeah. Good old Saint Sinners in the prison.
God, I want it to be the poet guy again. He's supposed to
Yeah.
have been gone for 2 months. Nope. Gina, okay.
Oh, what do you?
Why do they let you keep a
Why do you gotta
gun?
have the gun?
So they can reuse a sick animation.
God, the animation's so long.
And the gun is gone, just like that.
Where does it go? I think this is going to be a really interesting mind experiment to do come next Friday. Because, like, right now, I am bored out of my fucking mind. But I think that's only because I'm, like, mentally checked out. I'm pretty sure that what's going on is actually quite engaging and interesting, narratively. But,
You're just gone.
yeah, I'm just, like, not here. You know? Then why are we still doing this? Why didn't we end stream? Because this game takes 18 billion years to finish, and I would rather have an hour of autoplay than having to do this for an hour later.
Well, wouldn't it be better to do an hour later when we're a bit more in the mood
No.
rather than grinding through this hour?
My suspicion is that it wouldn't necessarily be any better, and my key evidence for that would be that the 45-minute pure exposition dump. You know?
Which was today, and we're exhausted from that.
But but we were exhausted even before that happened. My point is not that the 45-minute exposition dump made us tired. that is evidence from my perspective of this particular section of this case being arduous, meaning that I am being validity towards wanting to just grind it out through autoplay until we get to an actual investigation segment.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but
you really think that if we were in a better mood, we would really be enjoying reading over an hour of pure exposition?
We've done it before.
Yeah, I think it's just the mood we're in right now.
I disagree. I don't think we've ever in an Ace Attorney game enjoyed reading an hour of pure exposition. It's usually broken up by something.
Oh, but at the same time, we usually do this with voice acting, so there's some fun
true.
going back and forth.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, just the progress stream style gets to a bit of a grind. Is my view. Tell us your lies, Gina. We'll believe you. Hey, cat. Oh, it's a good cat.
Is that just the poet's cat but covered in snow?
Maybe.
It's either a very big cat or a small snowman.
Well, I think that's the snowman that was across the street from the poet's apartment.
Yeah.
Like, very
I remember
specifically.
A sweet little white cat.
Hey, Gina, are you sure we don't have any time? You can't tell us that big secret? Because we're just kind of sitting here. I know you said that they're gonna come to question you, but we're sitting here. We could do it. It's like anime time.
Yeah. We are here. We are waiting.
The fact that she says they're gonna come to get me rather than a guard saying, "Hey, it's interrogation time," does make it a little weird.
Bullet wound wasn't that bad after all. Yeah?
Just being a big old baby.
I want this hospital to be like one street over from his apartment because everything in the Ace Attorney universe is right across the street from everything else in the Ace Attorney universe.
Hey, Bobby. How you doing?
Yeah. Oi, do you two know that you stick out like a sore thumb? Being all polite and Eastern and shit?
um, I don't know the way to say it.
I just like the idea of like, because they're so proper and like they're making sure to not inconvenience anyone else, everybody's like, foreigners. Because like they don't look that different than anybody else because it's anime, right? And everybody has like the
Right,
big
everyone-
anime eyes, but like
Everyone does look pretty nutty, even their outfits.
examine.
I like the idea that they look at Iris and they look at us and they're like, well, little girl, you seem totally normal, like a reasonable clothes wearing young girl, but you're a foreigner.
That's exactly what I'm getting at.
Seems like an average outfit for someone your age in this time period.
More
Indeed,
belts than a
indeed.
Final Fantasy character. Oh, everybody knows it's on fashion for little girls to have gloves with hearts embroidered on them. That
Like
makes sense,
so.
yeah. Fucking ludicrous. Fuck. That's not what I wanted to do, please. I wanted to do this. Ooh, crushes. I wonder what these are. Apparently in case 3, there was also, we missed the stepladder conversation.
We have.
Shit! No! Fuck!
Every Ace Attorney game has some fucking weirdly inane conversation between the main character and the side character, like the sidekick character, about like a step ladder, and then discussing whether or not it's a ladder or a step ladder.
Damn.
Because they had it in Ace Attorney 1, and then they just have kept doing it, and it's very strange.
I bet it's even funnier than the version of the joke they have in Japan.
This place is fucked. I think.
That guy sure is staring at that bloody poster pretty intensely.
Yeah. Oh, look, more bobbies.
Has no one been able to get into the back room? Also, I really look forward to seeing the two people who committed this crime because based on their silhouettes, they look like fucking Muppets.
Come with the frog here.
Oh, I heard that.
Well, I heard that.
Oh, I heard that. Luigi.
Ah. You got some chips.
As silly as this guy's design is, I do really like it.
Yeah, it's him.
It's
all
let
he's
Wearing... Oh, go
Adrian
on.
after you.
I was just gonna say, he's wearing like fairly normal clothes, just that his face is a little cartoony.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that almost. You know what I
Wow.
mean?
He looks like he's going to punch her in the face. Never mind.
There was something I don't remember exactly what their relationship was, but he's like indebted to her for some reason. Because remember, she was the one who wrote us the letter early in case 4 that forced him, or rather convinced him, to allow us to investigate the crime scene before we had committed to being the lawyer.
I think it's because he gets royalties from a likeness of his appearing in the like articles she writes about Sholmes.
Perhaps you'd like some juice?
I invented the hydro flask.
That's all. That's
Don't-
all.
don't
That's a
put
big
it by-
chug.
Don't put it by this case, by the way. Oh yeah. You know what? I think Adrian's recollection is right because he's being very saccharine, almost as if to convince her to give him more royalties. I definitely want to look at this.
Oh, what you looking at, buddy?
I don't know. I think it's the 16th. So this means that the crime must have been committed after midnight, right? Because he had already torn the calendar.
I guess so.
But Zach, almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas yet.
No! He's
This
so
man's so jolly.
I think that he's really conflicted, Luigi about being in the papers, because on the one hand, they make him look like an utter buffoon, but on the other hand, he does get royalties from his likeness appearing.
I'd be conflicted.
If you got royalties from your likeness appearing in a book that was really famous, but the book made you look like a fucking moron.
Yeah. Oh, I should probably inspect this, huh?
I think I could live with that.
Oh.
Well, Lawrence, how about you? How would you feel if you got like royalties that were incidentally they're like decent money from a book that was really famous and well read, but it made you look like an idiot in it?
Do they use my name? Like my
Yes.
information?
They use your likeness.
They use your likeness. Your name is Sorens
Isn't his
Lagabayan.
name?
No, Sorens
My-
Lagabayan.
No, you said that his name was
You look my
Soren's.
lame.
Whatever.
I guess that's. I mean, they do make you look lame, so. Yeah.
All right. How big are the royalties? Because right now, I think I'm in.
Like
Listen,
about 50% of what a decent job would make you.
That's a lot of royalties. Do you
That's
realize
a lot
that?
of royalties.
It's,
Considering the minimum wage.
like a multimedia, like really famous book that like influences culture.
50% of a decent job is still better than minimum wage, so I am in.
Fair enough. That's why I'm saying, man.
That's me doing better than a minimum wage job for doing nothing, except providing a likeness to a lame character.
It's really
Well, yeah,
it's
they
really
also-
weird to think about because it's like I know that it's different, but what's the name of that one porn actress that's like super famous? Like Mia, it's like Mia something. It's really weird because I remember she did a bunch of interviews after her contract was over, and she was like, "Yeah, despite me being one of the most like well-known names in all of porn, the total amount of money that I got from all of my shoots wasn't even enough to pay for most of the hotel stays that I had to do."
Oof, dang.
And so I'm just thinking about it now, and like Adrian's premise of like, oh, you're a silly character, but you get royalties, and it's half of a good job. I'm like, that's a lot. that's
All right, maybe I was overzealous. I don't let you know how much royalties make. So
no,
if it's
like a normal royalty. Depending, like you're saying, it's like a big thing, right? Like imagine Lawrence's likeness is in like Harry Potter. That's what you're saying, right?
yeah,
Something along those lines. That would probably come out to like, I don't know. It would probably be, man, Harry Potter's really big though. Okay, so Harry Potter specifically, yeah, it would be about half of a good paying job. But I don't know. I was just saying, like, I'm just thinking of what's the name of the guy? There's a guy, he patented the name of something, not Band-Aid. It's something like that though, where no one calls it the original name anymore. They call it the brand name. And so the guy who owns the patent for the name, he gets like 5 cents or like 3 cents or something like that every time somebody uses that word in media. But it's funny because like when he originally filed for that, it was a lot of money, and nowadays he gets like a random check for like $22 every month.
Okay.
So it's just like, I guess my point of bringing this up is that it's a very wide berth of like what royalties could or could not cover.
Oh my girth.
I'm just thinking about my friend Peter back in Massachusetts. I remember when he was still heavily unemployed. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. He thought he had tapped into like this brilliant scheme because he learned that on Amazon you can upload a design for a t-shirt without actually producing anything, and you will earn, what was it? It was like 1 cent on every dollar spent on your t-shirt. And so he just like went into Photoshop and made a bunch of like psychedelic fractal like weird shirt designs. He made like 100 of them and he put them up. And he was super excited because he was like, dude, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be like how I make it. And I want to say after like 6 months, he made like $10. Which, when you think about it, is a lot of shirts sold. But still.
That's true.
Now I'm just thinking about passive income.
That made me think about my supervisor, who has a lot of experience working with special ed kids, and on like the first day that I was there, he like gave this big speech at the end of the day to the class or the program, and he was like, listen, I have a lot of qualifications. I went to a bunch of colleges, and I overcame a lot of my troubles. I used to stutter a lot like you, and I had some mental problems too. I worked through them, and you know, I could choose to be like a professor at the place, but I turned it down to be here. And I was like, okay, that's interesting, I guess. And then like last week, when we were in the break room, I was about to leave, and I heard him talking to some other teacher, and he was like, yeah, I don't dream of work. I can't wait till I retire. And I was like, oh, well.
Eesh.
I mean, I guess you gotta tell the kids something to believe in, but it's sad.
Damn. What a shame.
What a sad life.
It do be like that sometimes.
Please don't die.
I will say that, like, I'm not gonna say exactly who, but someone at my job, I got really, like, weirded out because, like, sometimes I vent about the things that these kids do, where, like, oh, you know, this kid called me a racial slur, and I didn't like that, and I'll tell my friends about that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, there's this one guy who was talking with my supervisor, and he was like talking about this one kid in our program who's like a very nice kid who is very, you know, mannersly, very polite, does pretty well academically, just randomly has, his problem is that he randomly has outbursts on medication where he just gets really, really easily angered. But those are rare, and otherwise he's just a nice kid. Just like, you know, he has a specific problem and needs to be in special ed. But they were talking about him, and he's not very socially apt, where he's like obsessed with cats, and he kind of like is a little bit younger mentally, socially than he should be, but not that bad. Like within the bounds of middle schooler. Maybe he's like a little cringy middle schooler, but that's fine. You're in middle school. But
middle schoolers are normal.
They were talking about him, and they were like mocking him, and like making fun, doing like little impressions of him, and I was like, dude, that's kind of fucked. He's not doing anything bad. He's just kind of cringy.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
And I'm like,
Are they?
I feel like that's different from bemoaning when a middle schooler calls me a racial slur, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like doing a mean impression of some kid who like doesn't really have all too much going wrong with his life, versus like, oh, this mean-spirited kid who is socially his age called me a racial slur. Well, okay, not that specific area, but, you know. In any case, I don't like being called racial slurs, even if a kid's not in their right age. It's not pleasant either way, believe it or not.
You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want people calling me a racial slur either, no matter the age.
That might work, yeah. But, yeah, no, I don't know. I think it was just weird how I was like, man, I don't like this part of my aspect of work, whereas these guys are actively making fun of some kid in the program. And I was like, huh. It's kind of weird. Like, the kid wasn't there, obviously. It was like they were off playing and we were talking, but I was just thinking about, like, man, that's a weird way to de-stress, I guess.
Yeah.
Weird way to cope with your job.
Complete tangent. How do you guys feel about Disney wanting to force all of its liabilities to renegotiate their contracts?
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the because I followed up on it yesterday because I was, just chilling, I guess. So I followed up on it, and it was the thing of the guy who wrote the original script for Alien. Disney bought 20th Century Fox, so they have like the rights to the franchise, but they claim that they bought the asset from 20th Century while leaving behind the liabilities, which is literally not how that works. Like, it has never worked that way. But Disney is trying to use their big swinging dick to change like law, like the face of IP law, so that way that is the case. And their argument in court just the other month was, well, we're not saying that he can't renegotiate his contract.
Wow.
It's like, what? that's so observably evil.
I don't know what you talk about. Disney never did anything wrong. They're not scummy. What are you talking about? It's real funny that before the Bobbies are multiplying. It feels weird that before I went to college, I was like, oh man, I'm super excited for one day I'll work at Disney or any of their other animation studios. And then now after college, I'm like, not really.
It's stressful, doesn't pay nearly as much as it should. You get abused on a daily basis.
That's all.
Contributing to a global superpower.
Indeed.
Which is a lot.
Almost an argument.
Sorry.
I was gonna say a global superpower that's almost inarguably not doing the right thing with its power.
Are there any global superpowers that are doing the right thing?
Gravity.
Gravity's doing the right thing. I agree.
Yeah. I sure do love how gravity is working on me right now. please don't squish me into the ceiling, gravity.
Just wait until gravity no longer works.
Gravity takes a vacation for a day.
Yeah.
I remember seeing on Reddit, people were discussing the Ocean Project, the one
TMC?
where, yeah, the one where the 20-something-year-old created. Like, it's really funny because his initial system that he proposed that got him the funding to like found the project, turns out it's like totally ineffectual and doesn't work. So he was a little upset at first because it's like, oh shit, well, it does look like we're gonna have to use boats, but it's fine, we'll figure it out as we go. But they just started cleaning the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and allegedly working nonstop and quadrupling the number of like things that they have right now, the number of filters. It would take 10 years to clean the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. And the thing is that despite the fact that it's called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch and it's literally an island of trash in the middle of the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and California, it makes up less than like 3% of all floating trash in the ocean. And it's gonna take 10 years.
Well,
And it was just one of those things where I was like, initially it was like, oh, this is like such a great feel good story. I'm super happy that I'm like here listening to this. And then they started giving the details about the project, and I'm like, oh no.
well, I mean,
Oh.
to be optimistic, like even if it takes 10 years, they are starting now.
I'm glad that
Which
they're
I gotta
starting
say
now rather than later, sure.
Is better than nothing.
It's something, all right.
It's something, and I don't know. I applaud that.
Okay, never mind then. I can't continue to investigate the thing because I need Lestrade, or sorry, I need Gina to give me... No, I need Gina to accept me on as her defense in order to grant me permission to investigate. But she doesn't want to do that because she's supposed to get interrogated soon, despite the fact that I've had enough time to walk between the prison and the pawn shop twice without her being questioned.
Yeah, I mean, he only took a few steps right next to each other.
Everything's directly across the street, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, location, let's go. Lord Chief Justice Office.
I haven't seen this man in...
The guy that lives in a clock?
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Grandfather Time.
Oh, by the way, you want to know something interesting? Well, relatively interesting about Terrence Tao from earlier.
Yes. What about this mathematician?
He did an interview where they asked him, like, what would you say your math weaknesses are? And he said one of them was algebra.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just basic algebra? Alright.
I doubt basic algebra, but
Basic algebra?
he just said algebra.
I
He did not
knew it.
say basic.
He wasn't that smart.
He's a
If you
fraud!
do basic algebra.
Yeah.
I push up my glasses. I always knew I was smarter than him.
I mean, for reference, he did an interview with a child prodigy assessor who that was his whole like field of profession, and the professor noted in his notes where he was like, this kid prefers to use complex analytical methods and refer to laws of math rather than visual methods of doing math. So like, one of the questions was, does this shape fold in half neatly and make a reflection of itself if you fold a log? And instead of taking a shape and folding it by itself, he cited a bunch of different mathematical properties that would explain why it did or didn't.
Wow.
So, that's his preference, I guess.
Well, to each their own. If you can answer a problem that way, go for it.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Susan is leaving.
Have you seen all the new gyroids in Animal Crossing?
Not,
yes, indeed.
I'm about to say, not expressly so, but I heard that they're in.
I don't think I saw all of them. I saw a good amount of them, and I do like some of the new setups that people have been doing. I like this one especially.
I know.
That's pretty funny. Holy crap.
Hey Saba,
3 days. Yep.
you know Spamton from Deltarune?
I don't think so.
Oh, were you not here for that part of the playthrough?
Maybe not.
And I'm guessing you haven't watched any other Deltarune playthroughs then?
No,
Or
I did
playthrough
not reach
yourself?
the part where I've seen this dude. Like, I watched a little bit, I think you guys playing it, but
Well,
I looked
In
him
that
up though, he
case-
looks like a funny guy.
as we say, in that case, Zach, what do you think Deltarune Chapter 3 Spamton / Jubble is gonna be like?
I have literally no idea. In terms of like the secret boss.
I feel like we're given at least a vague hint of what Chapter 3 is gonna be, given that it seems like a Dark World is gonna spring up in fucking Chris's living room.
Chris's living room directly in front of the TV right after a scene where they're flipping through a bunch of channels. So I'm assuming that's what's gonna... I'm assuming it's gonna be less of, like, built around the living room and more built around the TV specifically. That would be my assumption. To which my thing would be like, okay, well then the person... Or, like, the boss that you're fighting might be, like, the characteristic equivalent of, not white noise. What's it called when like you lose signal?
Static?
No, that's white noise. But like, it's the thing that they do. It's like a multi-bar color screen.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah, where it's like, yeah.
Obviously,
And it's
Like no signal?
Yeah, like a no signal kind of thing. Because like white noise or just static is when your analog television just isn't receiving a coax signal, and then that's where you get the white noise from. But what I'm thinking of is literally like this channel does not exist, which is what the no signal would be. So I don't know. Like that would be my assumption, would be that it would be a character like that. Because I'm trying to think, because there are like secret TV channels. It's just under most circumstances you don't have access to them because your cable box doesn't give you access to them. So that could be something.
Man. I'm just thinking of the time that, you know what, never mind, that's definitely not appropriate for stream.
I appreciate your discretion.
Anyway, so what I was gonna say, no.
Damn it. Man, Strongheart exudes evil bad guy energy, but every single thing that he's done so far has been like
fine.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like what we're just talking about is like, oh well, we're totally willing to defend Gina, and he's like, no, you misunderstand. She doesn't want to be defended. And it's like, okay, sure, I guess, but I don't know, man. Your eyes have blood coming out of them, and the bats are starting to come out of your hair. Are you sure you're not evil?
I was gonna say, your like armored statues there are starting to tilt their heads at us, loudly scraping metal.
Are we about to lose Susato because she has to go take care of her dying father, and instead for this case we're gonna have Iris as our assistant?
Probably.
Great.
Well, you don't like Iris? You don't like our typical like young woman sidekick being replaced by an even younger girl sidekick? That worked
Like-
so well in the original trilogy, though.
It's like a Pearly, you're right.
It's
Like,
definitely not like Pearly.
No, it is 100% like Pearly, not like the character Pearly, just the idea that the younger one is being the sidekick.
Yeah, you know that worked well before, right? You know, people like that. Zach liked that when that happened. So we'll do it again.
Do it again.
But
Do it again, but different.
Pearly was a likable character. And I'm not saying necessarily that Iris is unlikable, more rather, I don't like her. And she's also turning into a real downer now that she's really focused on the death of her dad.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I feel like that's excusable.
it's excusable, kinda. But once again, it's the same thing that I've talked about with Grant before, where it's just like, yeah, it's true that like, you know, coming to the knowledge of your dad being dead would always be sad and be a downer. But this is a fictional story in a fictional universe in which you didn't have to bring it up now. I guess. I don't know. Like, maybe this would have been better to have brought up earlier, and this would have been her, like, recovering from that knowledge instead of still having to process it. I don't know. Whatever. I was watching Jello Apocalypse put out a new video, I think it was literally yesterday, where he went over every single character, like, reoccurring character from Scooby-Doo, and discussed which one was like the best overall in terms of character design.
For that. I didn't see the video.
It's a good video. There's been a thing recently. I'm assuming that at some point he had like a hard drive crash or something like that. Because like the last 3 videos that he put out, he's lost giant segments of footage for, and he's just like made do, which is very strange because that's very atypical given his video history. But anyway, there was a notion that he kept talking about in the show that was very strange, or not strange, but like I thought it was kind of strange. Of why would you ever make, or sorry, not why would you ever, but like why would you ever write something for an entertainment media that wasn't fun? I guess. Like, are you familiar with Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated?
Yeah.
So you know the whole, like, it's not really even a subplot, it's like a super plot of Velma and Shaggy dating and like how wretched that was for so many episodes?
Yeah, and Scooby's in there.
And Scooby's like part of the love triangle, weirdly, yeah. Allegedly, or not even allegedly, the writer even confirmed this, but like the writer said like from minute 1 he wanted to write a story where Velma was essentially a closeted lesbian for like the majority of the story, and it was only towards the end of the show that she came to realize this and started dating hot dog water, right? Right. But in order to get there, the writer felt that
wild sentence.
It is a wild sentence. Her nickname is Hot Dog Water, but so in order to get there, the writer was like, well, I wanted to write this initial part of her being closeted and being in a really toxic relationship with Shaggy to like showcase her development on this like particular axis. And Jello looks into the camera and goes, why? That's not fun. And I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, it isn't fun, is it? That's kind of just that's kind of like not great, I guess, from like, you know, an escapism standpoint. It's a little too real, I guess. And also awkward. And so I was just thinking about it, where it's just like, I wonder if people could get away with it. I wonder if people would never have like upsetting moments, I guess, in their fiction.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, a story is like resulting on conflict, but I don't know.
No, but sorry, I didn't necessarily mean conflict. I mean like, I don't know, like the little abrasiveness, the thorn in your side that some stories have, where it's like, didn't really want to think about that.
Well with you?
No, I would agree. Like, I don't typically like have. Well, I would say, I don't know if this is like on the same line as what you're saying, but when certain stories just, the ending is not in any way, shape, or form happy, but it's like quote unquote realistic.
That's
like,
kind of that's kind of on the same line of what I'm talking about, because it's not satisfying. There's no catharsis there, you know?
Or as you said, escapism, because man, I don't need any of that from my books. I just want to, you know, immerse myself in a happy ending after a lot of hardship.
I mean, I think theoretically the virtue in that would be like people that have gone through that feeling scene and like they're not an insane single lone accident, or like people going through the ordeals of compulsory homosexuality being like, oh, this fictional character has gone through the same thing that I have, and there's catharsis in the fact that, well, Velma's kind of cool and she survived it, so I guess I could too, or something like that. Like, that'd be the ideal. And those cases aren't meant for everyone. In most cases, I don't think they're meant for most people. but I mean, I think there's value in telling stories like that. Just they're not always entertaining, and that's fine. But also, it's Scooby-Doo, and that probably should be entertaining.
Probably.
It
It is
depends
a
on what
kids
it
show. Although Mystery Incorporated is distinctly more, well, not distinctly more mature, but it is definitely more mature. Although, like, I don't know. That's a really good supposition that you propose, and I definitely agree with it. It's just, I guess, a little disappointing that, like, oil doesn't mix with water necessarily. Like, you can have oil and water in the same meal that you're preparing, but they don't necessarily mix in a way that properly integrates, I suppose.
Yeah, like you drink it down and like, oh, this is the water part, this feels smooth, and oh, this is the oil part, this is different, and they definitely are very different components of the same thing.
And somebody might appreciate the oil more than the water, or vice versa, and that's fine. I just wish that there was a way that these could be integrated, like I said, integrated in a way where it was less obvious, where it's like, that's a little strange.
I think in my mind there's also like the idea of, I mean, you do have people who I guess connect with like fictional characters in some aspects, but then
An
you have the
enormous
people
amount of
where it's
people
like,
connect with fictional characters, yeah.
well, yes, but I'm talking about the ones that have like certain problems, I guess. But
Like
the other,
their
at the other
sexuality.
end, or at the other end, I'm saying like it's not like you don't particularly care about connecting with any character. You just want like a fun story.
Yeah, that's valid.
And that's the same oil and water
Yeah.
thing, right? Because
Yeah.
people will come at the same media with different expectations, and it's obviously impossible to appease everybody, but like because people come at it from a different angle, I don't know, it's very peculiar. Like you know one of the ones that I recently, upon rewatching Korra, it was one of those things that I never really considered before, but a lot of people latched onto within like the Korra community. There was a lot of people who latched on to, I guess, spoilers. I don't know if anyone gives a shit about Legend of Korra, but physical atrophy as being like a thing that can happen. Because apparently there were a lot of people who watched Legend of Korra when they were younger, where due to one reason or another, they went from being physically fit to being unphysically fit for whatever particular reason, and that was like a huge downside to them, because essentially, like, from their perspective, they had something and then they lost it, and now it's going to be ridiculously difficult to get back to where they were before. And that's literally a plot point in Legend of Korra.
I was gonna say, does she break her legs, or is it just waste away for some reason?
So,
I remember seeing gifs of her like recovering.
So I don't remember exactly which season it was in, but in one of the seasons she goes up against possibly one of the best villains in Legend of Korra, and he purposefully he's obviously trying to kill her to end the line of avatars, but instead of killing her, he just like fucks with all of her muscles or whatever. Like, he fails that, so he just shreds a bunch of her muscles. And so the idea was that initially she was only supposed to be in the hospital recovering with like waterbending healing for about 6 months, but then she disappears for like 2 years. She recovers early and then escapes the hospital because she has like mental isms going on that prevent her from properly recovering. But it's just one of these things where it's like Korra seasons 1, 2, and 3. Dude, she's fucking cut. Like, she is super physically fit, which is very oppositional to what Aang was like during the majority of Last Airbender. And so it's one of those things where it's just like when you then see her after the time skip, and she's like not exactly scrawny, but she's like a normal person, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
So I don't know, this is like the same thing where it's just like, I never would have thought of that. You know what I mean? I never would have thought about somebody latching onto that for their own personal reasons, as opposed to it just being like an interesting character piece that was written.
Yeah.
I returned for the last 10 minutes.
Welcome. Why were you gone for so long? You okay?
My dad was calling for me for some help.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
On the other end, I'm gonna go eat now. Then and I'm gonna say
See ya.
goodbye. See you later.
Bye.
I was gonna loop the conversation way back to your original point of like media that should just be fun. I was thinking like a very basic opposition to that, which I feel like everyone in this call probably is aware of, but just like there's media that's not supposed to be fun at all, but is supposed to be cathartic in some way. I mentioned a while ago the Midnight Gospel had a really heart-wrenching scene with a guy coping with like the inevitable death of his mother, and it was really saddening. But I am glad for having like seen it. Like at the time, I was like, man, this is fucked up, and I feel worse. But I do feel like a more fulfilled person having seen that. Like, yeah, I don't wish I didn't. I don't wish I hadn't seen that. You know.
Now on a less. Oh, sorry. I'll let you finish.
Yeah. I'm just kind of jumping into the conversation, but that sounds similar to how most people felt when they watched A Silent Voice, if you guys are familiar with that sad anime movie, where it's not a fun movie to watch, but it is cathartic because it deals with issues, like really heavy issues, and they touch upon that in a really good way. I don't know.
I guess it comes down to intention, right? Because like no one, at least not no one that I would think, would go into A Silent Voice not, well, I don't know if I necessarily mean like not expecting it to be emotionally heavy, but like I don't know, the original example of like Scooby-Doo, like you don't go to Scooby-Doo expecting to get a narrative expecting to get a sub-narrative about like, what was the phrase you used, Adrian?
Compulsory heterosexuality.
Yeah, there you go. You know, and so like it makes sense that like people would be a little taken aback by that, because maybe the narrative itself wasn't necessarily off-putting. It was just its presence in something that you wouldn't expect was off-putting. Whereas, like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like, Cartoon Network, Halloween special, had like 10 episodes, Over the Garden Wall.
Yeah.
Right.
Is Over the Garden Wall fun?
It looks fun. I haven't seen it. I know it's supposed to be emotionally heavy, but it looks fun. From someone who's never seen it, it looks fun. It has a fun aesthetic.
But that's like the thing, right? Is that as people who watched it, Lawrence and I can both say it's like it has fun moments, but usually the fun moments are immediately undercut or are completely suffused with like unease or low level terror or like just somber, you know what I mean? Just like somberness, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that's so strange, because it's just like, is Over the Garden Wall fun? I don't know. Would I watch it every Halloween? Absolutely, because it's great. It's really good.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I guess I can tie it back into like video game discussions, I guess, because Shenmue 3, the one that was kickstarted and came out like last year, I think, or 2 years ago. Oh my god, it's been over 2 years. Anyway, a big part of the Shenmue series that was originally very charming, that has since become not charming, was the entire Shenmue series is built around like the same daily clock system that Animal Crossing is based on. But the thing with Shenmue is that you don't really have much to do on a moment-to-moment basis. I like how the game's just going and we're just talking about this.
All three of them are looking at us like,
yeah, that's what made me look at the screen, because I was like, what the fuck happened?
So this is Dorfromantic level of just talking over the game.
Exactly, but this is an Ace Attorney, which is like 90% dialogue.
Right.
But anyway, what was I saying? Totally lost my train of thought.
Shenmue.
Yeah, Shenmue. Thank you.
Day-to-day, not a lot to do, but
there's not a lot. Like unlike because the whole point of Animal Crossing is that there's usually around the middle bit and the beginning of every month, there's like large spikes of things to do, and then otherwise you're supposed to like turn the game on, do your daily chores, and then turn it off. Whereas Shenmue is very opposite. Whereas Shenmue is supposed to, the creator of the game even says this, where it's like, yeah, the game is supposed to simulate how arduous and difficult it would be to gain enough money to do anything when you don't have like a decent job, like when you're just a kid. So in Shenmue 3, for example, I want to say it takes about 25 hours. Like you have this intro to the game, like this intro segment, and then the game says, all right, you need to go talk to this person. And you can do some investigating, but eventually through your investigation, you discover that in order to talk to this person, you have to become a high roller at this like underground casino and then win a bunch of fights. But in order to become a high roller, you have to have enough money. But in order to have enough money, you have to get a bunch of odd and end jobs. But the odd and end jobs are only available at certain times of day on certain days of the week, where sometimes you're just not going to earn. That's a good place for us to stop for the day, by the way. So anyway, long story short, just revolving around this whole idea, is that Shenmue 3 was specifically designed around the notion of, man, isn't it frustrating? And it's one of those things where it's like, why would you do that? Just tying back into the thing of like, why would you ever make media, or why would you ever make entertainment media not fun?
Oh, man.
And there you go.
I mean, that reminds me of, have you guys heard of Kingdom Hearts 358 Days Over 2?
Vaguely,
one of the
yes.
mathematical Kingdom Hearts games.
I was gonna say, the premise is that you're playing as Roxas, a new guy in an organization, and you're doing mundane jobs day to day for a secretly evil organization. And the gameplay is very repetitive, where you go on a mission every day and you complete and come back, and if you complete enough of them, then you get a dialogue scene between you and some of your coworkers. But the whole thesis of the game, I guess, was to showcase how, like, the entire character's existence, because the character comes to existence in narrative at the start of the game, basically, and you're like an empty puppet character who doesn't really know what life or how to feel is, and your entire experience is enveloped in the game, where your experience is boring, repetitive, do work and fight things, and then once in a while hang out with your friends and have a good time, and your character obviously enjoys having a good time. And I guess that the player feeling the mundanity of what you're supposed to do throughout the games makes you excited for, like, finally, I'm going to hang out with my friends in this game, and then they hang out with you and it's cool. And it's supposed to amplify the pain and torture that the game forces upon you and the character at the end of the game, where all your friends are torn away, your relationship's falling apart, and you are being forced to unalive, where you're being forced to assimilate your existence as something else, and all your memories basically be no longer yours, and you will stop existing. And it's like, but I like existing. Like, I like hanging out with my friends. Sure, there are boring parts, but I want to keep existing with my friends, and that's supposed to be the thesis of the game. And a lot of people who have played the game say it's one of the most painful experiences in the Kingdom Hearts series. And I haven't played the game fully. I played a bit of it, but I would be tempted to agree based on what I've seen of it. And I guess, like, a lot of the game is like, the gameplay is like, for a Kingdom Hearts game. I heard that there was some interesting mechanics gameplay-wise, but on the whole, the missions were supposed to be repetitive because that's the basis of the game, I guess. So
it sounds kind of interesting because it almost sounds like they double dipped into this notion of like making an experience unfun on purpose, where it's just like the moment-to-moment gameplay might be arduous, but that's specifically designed to make it so that way the unarduous fun moments are like better by comparison, like Doofenshmirtz style. But then at the end of the game, it's all ripped away from you. So now all of that time that you spent is now also being subversively made as like a negative because you're losing all of it. That's kind of strange. And I don't know about that.
I was gonna say, it sounds interesting on paper. It didn't do very well in sales.
I don't understand why you would ever do that.
It does make it so the character in that game is one of the most popular characters in the series, because everyone knows how much fucking torture he went through in that game alone, and they're like, I just want good things for this boy.
I just want good things for Roxas.
Like, it's so much pain in 358 days, and then everyone who doesn't play the game is like, what the fuck are you talking about? The DS game. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for. Oh, sorry. You want to finish?
I was just gonna say there's a lot of media and games that aren't fun but still interesting, at least on a theoretical level, that I think are worth exploring.
But that's what I guess that's all I wanted to say. And I think this actually might be, if you wouldn't mind putting in the banter ideas, this might be something like now that we've gotten to this point in the conversation, it might be fun to continue later. Just the notion of like how fine that line is between like making an experience purposely unfun, but then it still ends up being rewarding and fulfilling, as opposed to you trying to do that and it ends up just being fucking torture.
Right.
But anyway, that stream. I don't think necessarily today's Ace Attorney stream was super great, but then again, I don't think that this segment of Ace Attorney was super great either. So I think that's fair. Saba and Lawrence will be back tomorrow. I mean, I'll be there obviously, but they'll be doing co-op Cuphead, which will be very fun. Yeah, and then next week we got Great Ace Attorney again, followed by Cuphead, followed by Pokemon.
Pokemon.
Man,
I put the banter topic in.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
fantastic.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Night. Hey,
Good
everybody.
night, all.